problem is it's not always so simple to come up with really transformational ideas. So fortunately, we're here to help you. What really makes RTI Ingenuity special is our panel. So David's going to spend some time this morning illustrating that for you. Then we'll also take you through some real-life examples of how RTI Ingenuity has helped our clients to innovate better.
Thank you, Melissa. I'm glad to be here.
Great. So we'll wrap things up at the end with questions and answers, so please feel free to type in any questions you may have. If we can answer them on the fly, we will. Otherwise, we'll try to take care of them at the end of the session. And with that, let's get started. So first we want to talk to you about why we got into the innovation space to begin with. We were consistently hearing the same types of things from our clients. Innovation consultants are so expensive. The process really takes way too long. At the same time, clients tell us that they often shortchange the innovation process because they just don't have the manpower to handle things. But perhaps the biggest problem of all is that innovation efforts tend to not always be so innovative. So we knew there must be a smarter way to do things. Our solution to the innovation dilemma is RTI Ingenuity. So this is a three-phase process that starts with a fact-finding mission, where we learn everything we can about your innovation objectives, and then from there, we'll hand-select a group of consultants from our Prodigy panels and kick off our brainstorming efforts. Once we've developed lots of great ideas for you, we follow up with traditional research to hone in on the best of the best. And all the way through the process, your RTI account rep that you know and trust is by your side, so there's no coordinating of efforts across multiple vendors, and it's a nice, smooth process. That's a basic overview, and now I'm going to turn things over to David to bring things to life for you.
Thanks, Melissa. So, I'm delighted to lead the RTI Ingenuity process, and I'm going to spend a few minutes telling you about our proprietary Prodigy panels, and then walk you through a few relevant case studies. So we really pioneered high IQ brainstorming more than 10 years ago. We tapped into Mensa, the high IQ organization. We had an exclusive relationship with them where we really were talking to and collaborating with their geniuses, in 20 international markets. And anybody can be part of the Mensa organization as long as you are in the top 2% of intelligence. We also have expanded that relationship, and we tap into other high IQ societies to really give us brilliant, out-of-the-box thinking. We, in addition, not only tap into these genius-level thinkers, but we also tap into renowned experts and creative catalysts. And it's this combination of thinkers that really gives us a broader knowledge base that helps us move faster, and according to our clients, gives us ideas that they've really never seen or heard of before. So briefly, we tap into these panels not just because they're smart and they're intelligent, but also because they give us, they're able to connect the dots where others do not, and they thrive on solving complex problems. They're all compensated for the work that they do, but it's the passion of solving a problem that really fuels our panelists. So we have panels of brilliant mothers that look for new opportunities inside and outside the home. We have food and beverage experts that are chefs, cookbook authors, Gen Y foodies. We have the entire panel of creative consumers. There's really no way to measure creativity, so we look for how creativity is expressed by our members. We have artists, we have fashion designers, sculptors, very out-of-the-box creative thinkers. We have a whole panel of inventors. Recently, one of our inventors worked with one of our clients, and our client is moving forward, some medical device inventors, and is moving forward with 2 new patent applications. We have a whole panel on wellness and sustainability with over 600 different types of panelists, anything from an organic farmer to the chief sustainability officer at Bank of America.
And finally, we have a proprietary branding panel, which includes leading marketers. Often we go outside of your category to get ideas and inspiration so that you can learn from what others are doing. This panel of branding experts also includes professional namers and very creative writers. In a little bit, we'll show you some examples of our work. So on the next slide, for us, really the genius in all of this is how we combine this high intelligence, this, if you will, left brain thinking, along with right brain creativity. We call that combination creative intelligence. It's the way that we solve problems, and it's the way that we accelerate innovation. So we're using creative intelligence to help us solve a variety of our clients' complex problems. So we create new product concepts. I have a case study in the back that I'll touch on that we recently did for Johnson & Johnson Vision Care. We also create new product concepts for Procter & Gamble. We're part of their Global Connect and Develop group, and we've created new product concepts for Crest and Cascade and Wella, and Braun, the electric shaving company, with their acquisition of Gillette, is now part of that. We help clients create go-to-market strategies. So with our global footprint, we've helped Unilever in India and China come up with new strategies to go into those marketplace. We create new white space opportunities, extend brands. We have an example of a brand extension case study for HP that we've done that I'll also touch on. We have created new product concepts and really helped Chili's reinvent their menu. We've also helped Kraft Foods with their largest brand, Oreo, to come up with new ways to take the Oreo brand into new products and services, such as their relationship with Dunkin' Donuts. So this is just a few of the types of clients that we work with and a few of the things that we do. I thought that we could go through a few case studies, and then you'd have a better feel for actually seeing RTI Ingenuity in action. So the first case study that I'm going to touch on really has to do with thinking outside of the box, and it deals with innovation. Our client came to us with a problem. How can you create a revolutionary storage system that makes it easy for eye care professionals to quickly locate a particular contact lens prescription from hundreds? So the two images that you see here, one, the image on the left, these are blister packs. These are what contact lenses are stored in. And the second was kind of an old-fashioned like tackle box that eye care professionals use to store contact lenses. And our task was to come up with a more efficient, more intuitive way for eye doctors to store their contact lenses. So one of the first things that we did is, if you want to go to the next slide, is really try to find the right thinkers to solve this problem. Our client wanted fresh new ideas. So what we did was we went outside of the category to recruit. And at RTI Ingenuity, we don't just look at recruiting from one panel. We recruit people from multiple panels so that we get a broad cross-section and bring in a broader knowledge base. So for this assignment, we were pulling in inventors, RFID experts, wireless data experts, industrial designers from around the world. We had toy makers, a mechanical engineer, a kinetic designer, someone that studies movement, and then we brought in some of our high IQ thinkers. And after we finished the recruitment, we really pulled together this online challenge. And the online challenge is really our project brief. It lists the goals of the project, and states very clearly what we're looking for our participants. All of our panelists sign NDAs, and our clients own all the ideas and IP that results from our engagement. Once you sign into a secure login, you're brought to this specific challenge document, and it has very rich links. In this case, we had photos of eye care professional doctors' offices. We had video links. There's a link in the upper right-hand side for you to post your ideas. And then importantly, you can see what others have submitted, and then you can build on ideas, morph ideas, and combine ideas. So we work back and forth with our clients, and we create this online challenge. This was a project where we were looking for truly global collaboration. So while while we were sleeping here in the U.S., our inventors and industrial designers in the UK and in Japan were busily working. It was cool for us to wake up in the morning and see what new ideas and illustrations had been input into the system. This global platform that we use is 24/7, so our clients can see the ideas as they come in, and they can give us real-time feedback as these ideas are going in. Again, unlike a traditional brainstorming session that might be off-site, for an afternoon or possibly for a day, we do this for close to 2 weeks. And then after the online ideation was completed, you see this again, what we started with was this kind of like clumsy tackle box where contact lenses are stored. We wanted to come up with more intuitive ways. These are some of the final solutions that we came up with. And basically these make it easier for the eye care professionals to quickly locate contact lenses. So starting on the left-hand corner, we have what I call like a jukebox. You envision those like little blister packs that I showed you earlier. Well, imagine those are like songs that are stored on a CD. These individual contact lenses are then found by a smartphone application. You press the smartphone, the jukebox spins around, and it locates your contact lenses. The next one on the right-hand side, I call this like a almost a Jumbotron mini version of what you might see in Times Square with all the lights and action. This serves as an advertisement for our client, also could serve as instructional video for how to use contact lenses. But what's cool is that when it's activated by pressing smartphone technology, those little tiny squares that you see open up, and the contact lenses are stored behind those. Finally, in the right-hand corner, you see an example of kind of a modern storage system, which has a smart iPad attached to the front, which shows you which contact lens drawers that you can find your contact lenses. So this project went really well. We came up with both high-tech and low-tech solutions, which were tested both qualitatively and quantitatively. This just gives you an idea of some of our out-of-the-box thinking. The next slide really sets up a case study that focuses on how we use our Ingenuity panels to create innovative brand extension licensing ideas. So in this case, we work with HP. And HP came to us, and we participated in a very large RFP with multiple vendors. And unfortunately, we lost that project. It was disappointing to us, but we were delighted. A year later, HP came back to us. They were not satisfied with their current client, and they hired us. So the challenge was, how can we extend the HP brand beyond the computer desktop? What we did is we created this online challenge, just like what I showed you before, but we have obviously a very different scope and very different goals. In this case, our client wanted to identify profitable new products and services that would have the HP name on it, but they would license them. They would not manufacture them. You know, we worked back and forth with our client, who was very involved. We created this challenge. And then on the next page, I'll show you kind of a closer-up image of the inspiration collage. Actually, I'll come back to that. Can you go 2 slides forward? Sorry, guys. Okay. So this is an example of the inspiration collage that is actually on the challenge. Again, it allows our clients to actually see the types of places where we want them to go. We use visuals in videos because they're rich, and as you know, people process images so much more faster than they do words. Now, if you can go back, Melissa, a couple of slides. What we did is, after our participants reviewed the challenge and the inspiration collage, you know, we then had them conduct at-home ethnography. So in this case, we recruited some of our high IQ thinkers, but we didn't want to include experts. We included those that were grounded in technology. We included licensing specialists, and we included homeowners with exceptional creativity. Then what we did is we sent everyone around their houses with a special ethnography guide, and they were looking in each and every room for basically places that they could put the HP logo. So once they were through with that ethnography exercise, we had them enter in the ideas into the system. And then through traditional research, we culled down the list to identify the best ideas for consideration. So we did both qualitative and quantitative research. You know, we had a lot of ideas regarding home energy, battery chargers, fitness, and then through this process, we were able to identify some leading ideas. And I wanted to share with you a couple of examples of these. So in the end, we wound up testing from 434 ideas. We wound up testing 11 concepts, scored really well. One of these had to do with HP smart appliances. And the idea here is that your oven all of a sudden becomes your smart oven, and it's run by HP, almost using the HP as an ingredient that kind of is the engine behind your smart oven. This example here, your glass oven screen all of a sudden becomes your computer screen, which is temperature sensitive, and it walks you through how to make your Thanksgiving Day meal. We also introduced HP to the HP automotive concept. You know, again, we're using the HP superior computer function that makes the electronics in your car work so efficiently. We also introduced HP to the HP night vision concept. And then these concepts, as you'll see on the next slide, were featured in a Wall Street Journal article that really talked about how HP was looking to kitchens and cars and other, you know, appliances for new revenue streams. So the client was delighted with our work. We introduced them to, you know, new places to move beyond the desktop. More importantly, you know, actionable new licensing plans. So those are just kind of, you know, an overview of some of our case studies of how we use the RTI Ingenuity process and how we use, you know, some of our Prodigy panelists. Melissa?
Okay, great. Thanks so much, David. So now that we've seen how the process works in real-life scenarios, I wanted to just kind of summarize things and show you the process in more detail. So phase 1 of the process is our discovery and immersion stage, and that's really our fact-finding mission. So the first step is to have a kickoff to discuss the innovation objectives. We will cover any ingoing hypotheses, any pain points that we're aware of, really just anything when we get our team together with our client team to just see, tell us everything that you could possibly tell us to get us off and running. From there, we'll review any existing research. This could be things like A&Us, segmentations, problem IDs, anything that will give us good background so that we're fully informed. We'll also take a look at what's happening outside of your company. What are your competitors doing? What are people in other industries doing? And we'll also do interviews with industry experts and target customers so that we can see how people who are interacting with your products are feeling. So the goal of phase 1 is really just to learn as much as possible so that we can be true consultants throughout the process. Then we move into phase 2, which is the most exciting part. This is the Prodigy panel ideation. So the core strength of this technique that you can't get anywhere else is the Prodigy panels. We handpick a team of creative geniuses from a mix of backgrounds and areas of expertise. Oftentimes we'll pull from outside of your category to get fresh experience, fresh perspectives. And these geniuses tend to connect the dots where traditional respondents don't, which brings us far richer information. As David mentioned earlier, they engage for about 2 or even 3 weeks at times, which is certainly much more extensive than your typical brainstorming session. And it's not just a half a day in the conference room down the hall with the same old people coming up with the same old ideas. Instead, it's a very collaborative effort where these geniuses build on each other's ideas. The discussions are very, very dynamic, and it's truly where the magic happens. Then, once we come up with all of those great ideas, now what do we do? So we need to narrow things down. So at the beginning of the project, we'll discuss some custom criteria to help us figure out, okay, when we come out with these great ideas, where do we go from there? So the preliminary stage is generally done by the RTI team, and then we'll also have a joint effort with our client partners to narrow things down further. And then from there, we'll tailor the research accordingly and go out and try to identify the winning ideas. Sometimes it's qualitative, sometimes quantitative, sometimes both. But whatever the case, it's never force-fit. It's always a custom design research. And once we come out of that research, we hopefully will have 1 or 2 great ideas that you can move on to implementation. So I hope we've delivered on our promise of showing you a smarter way to innovate and power your business forward. So let's take a look and see if we have any questions. Okay, all right, David, I have one for you. What is the output after the 2-week session?
Well, generally we'll get a large list of ideas. Depending upon the challenge, it could be several hundred ideas. And that's kind of a large group of ideas for a client to go through. We will work back and forth, and then we'll take that list of let's say 200 ideas, and then we'll narrow that list down to about 75 leading ideas, and then we'll work to create those leading ideas into relevant solutions or concepts. So the deliverable can include the entire list of all the ideas, because sometimes we overlook an idea that our client resonates to, and then we'll include more of a refined list of concepts as a final deliverable.
Great.
And also with that, we may include select visuals to accompany those concepts.
Sounds good. And the other question, David, can we interact during the ideation?
Well, interaction during the ideation is really for our participants. They go back and forth, they build on ideas, they collaborate ideas. But as a client, you can certainly send us messages and let us know, do you think the ideation is on course? Do you want us to kind of blow out a specific idea that you think is really cool? Because we do this over 10 days, our clients give us really rich feedback and allows us to really dig into issues of concern to our clients.
Perfect. All right, those were the only questions that we had, and we're just right about coming up a couple minutes to our end time. So if you come up with any other questions later, certainly please do feel free to reach out to your RTI contact. We'd also be happy to share this presentation with anyone, any of your other colleagues if you'd like that. And so if anything comes up, just let us know. So thank
Yeah,
you so
and I
much
would
for
just like to say, too, thank you, Melissa, and thank everyone for joining. We'd like to work on some of your toughest problems. So, give us an example of some of your tough problems that we can work on, and we'll come back to you with a custom challenge and a methodology that's just prepared for you.
Great. We hope to hear from you all soon. Take care. Thank you.